immigrants are under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
When immigrants are under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
What do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
What do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
Woo, 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 woo. Okay, we did that nicely.
Concentrate, moving closer, moving closer.
Thank you for catching up.
Daniel's across the street. Okay, yeah.
What's up, Lulu? Where you been?
Where's the phone?
No, where? No.
Yo, I texted you the other day and you dubbed my shit. Go back. I texted you like 400 years ago. Left on red. Crickets.
Why didn't you hit me back up? Why didn't you knock on my door?
They go back to your sister. Me too. Look good now. They have a cat.
Back when I
The
can
new
walk.
pics and everything.
Walk.
Hey, I like your sometimes. Good girl. Oh, nice, yo. Oh, come on.
I tried to make up for the fact that I showed up to state as a jeans yesterday.
Oh, yeah. But congratulations on all that.
It was good.
You showed up in terms of the voting process. Oh, my God.
Meetings sometime later. Homie, meet the homie. I'm taking a walk to tell everybody why we're waiting. We're waiting for speaker. We're on the way. We're waiting for the We'll get started. Any questions? Oh, okay. Join me.
Oh, there's so much attention.
I know, I have to.
Can't like not
I can't turn around.
You can't turn around. You can't not can't drop the sign.
Right. We started it, we finished it, the class of folks, one of our graduates got their first organizing job with CPH. Another one is continuing to do organizing action around it's a good, you know, very nice. We'll do another one. like a boss.
We were talking to the lawyers.
What's going on, Alexis? Everybody's dressing nicely. What's going on?
What's the color on you?
It is a fashion show.
Nice to see you.
Oh, I need to check. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine.
I
We're
saw
actually
Jason.
waiting. But I was like, I want to make sure.
And then Jason was like, chilling. I was like, what happened? He's like,
And I was like, and I'm like,
The last guy came out with the line.
hey. I think maybe we start because
They're like sort of like
I'm not about to be like so long. I swear to God. I'm gonna get my hair cut. I'm gonna get my tattoo. And then I'm gonna be.
yeah. Okay. I'm trying to get the help like we can start and then we can get to Murad. Like after you to Murad and then you can get
They just left City Hall. Megan, she just left City Hall.
If you wanna help Murad, that's what I was gonna say. Yeah, cause no, you said it's like you and then he's after.
somebody to say, yeah,
I got this. But
which is a little bit ironic. I don't want to be it.
send me both the real dispatch. And I wrote that up by myself.
I know.
do a shut down Rikers chant, all right? Shut down Rikers! 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 Woo! Show me what community looks like. This is what community looks like. Show me what community looks like. This is what community looks like. Show me what community looks like. This is what community looks like. Show me what community looks like. This is what community looks like. Show me what community looks like. This is what community looks like. Show me what community looks like. This is what community looks like. Show me what community looks like. This is what community looks like. Show me what community looks like. This is what community looks like. Woo! Woo!
Oh, the speeches and stuff. She was just saying in Spanish. They got the Spanish on the news here.
El pueblo unido jamás será vencido. 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 That's the energy I like, okay?
Oh, the ones are closed. The Sarado. Right, sí. Sí.
Okay, we're gonna do another chant in Spanish, okay? It's gonna go like this. Hey, ICE, afuera de Rikers Island. 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 Woo! Woo!
All right, y'all. We're going to start it off. We good? We ready? We hyped? We know what we came here for, right? Okay. All right, y'all. So thank you all for coming and thank you for waiting. We are waiting for the speaker. But today we're here with advocates from the ICE Out of Rikers Coalition, council members, and we'll be joined by our speaker shortly to basically say that we are really glad that this judge again extended the temporary restraining order to prevent this administration from setting up ICE on Rikers. Okay? That is a victory. It's clearly not ruling in favor of that action. So we know that right now we are spending a lot of time, energy, and resources having to defend the laws that this city council has passed, defending the laws that we have worked very, very hard to get agreements on. The administration is wasting a lot of time, spending time capitulating to Trump, living up to his end of the bargain that he made to put ICE on Rikers. It is an unnecessary action. ICE can already cooperate with the city on a number of charges. What they're doing right now is simply a spectacle, It's simply an unnecessary action that is wasting time, resources, and trying to fast track a mass deportation project that is racist and that is unconstitutional. So we are really, really grateful that this judge has extended the temporary restraining order. It's a very clear sign that this is the actions that the mayor and the deputy mayor, Randy Mastro, put forward are not the direction that this city should be taking. We're going to continue to push. We're going to continue to defend the laws of the city council. We're going to continue to fight back. We're going to continue to prevent ICE from being on Rikers because they have no business being on Rikers. The reason why they were kicked off of Rikers is because they were walking around unchecked throughout the facilities. They were talking to people without representation, without translation. There was really no oversight. And they have no business doing that exact thing again. So we are really grateful that the actions are stopped, that what this order says is that they cannot operationalize ICE on Rikers. They cannot ink out an MOU until we get the ruling. So we're going to hear from a number of folks. We're going to hear from advocates, organizations, people who fought really hard to pass the law. But right now we're going to hear from our speaker, Adrienne Adams, who's going to say some remarks.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. We're having a good day. And I thank you all for being here. I am New York City Council Speaker Adrienne Adams, and I'm here with my colleagues, including Criminal Justice Committee Chair Sandy Nurse, Immigration Committee Chair Alexa Aviles, and my council members, Tiffany Caban. That's it. Okay. The mighty trio, yes. We are also joined, of course, by advocates and service providers who are working on the ground every single day to support our communities. I am so happy to announce that just moments ago, New York State Supreme Court Judge Mary Rosado extended a temporary restraining order she issued on Monday to prohibit Mayor Adams' administration from implementing Executive Order 50. That would facilitate the city working with ICE to establish an office on Rikers Island. This represents an important step by the court to protect public safety in our city and keep all New Yorkers safe. It validates our efforts to defend New York City from being made even more vulnerable to the Trump administration's extreme agenda of unconstitutional activities by blocking the mayor from enabling these attacks on the safety and rights of the people he is supposed to represent. The Trump administration has shown with its actions that it is willing to disregard the United States Constitution. And still, Mayor Adams has made abundantly clear that he is more than willing to sell out the city's sovereignty and the safety of New Yorkers in exchange for special treatment from the Trump administration in his federal corruption case. The city council has stood up to defend our city from the mayor's self-interested actions, filing a lawsuit last week to stop this unlawful executive order because it is tainted by the clear conflict of interest created by his corrupt deal with Donald Trump. Federal prosecutors and Judge Dale Ho have both essentially described this as a quid pro quo, with Mayor Adams putting his own personal interests ahead of the people of our city. We are putting the people first, and today's ruling indicates that New Yorkers, united, can defeat the corrupt acts of Eric Adams and Donald Trump. For weeks now, the Trump administration has been unlawfully disappearing people across the country, including our own residents, without due process or justification. The mayor has claimed to support due process, but his actions say otherwise, that the only due process he supports is for himself. ICE can already work with the city for those convicted of serious crimes, and their desire for more power over our city only demonstrates their intent to violate city law. Trump has begun executing his extreme agenda that makes our city and its communities less safe. We see it in the fear across our communities and the decline in commercial activity in neighborhood businesses, also known as Trump's neighborhood recession. Allowing ICE to unnecessarily have the keys to Rikers would not only enable the Trump administration to undermine constitutional rights, but also the health and safety of our entire city. Our city's laws support our economy and public safety. When New Yorkers are afraid of cooperating with our city's own police and discouraged from reporting crime or seeking help, it makes everyone in our city less safe. When New Yorkers no longer want to shop at our neighborhood stores or show up for work or businesses, our economy suffers. That is why the City Council will continue to be the responsible leaders in City Hall that defend our city and New Yorkers against the Trump administration's attacks, even if our own mayor will not. This fight is not yet over, but we are encouraged that the court has now made 2 legal decisions against the mayoral administration's unlawful action. Most importantly, the administration is barred from moving forward with allowing ICE to set up shop on Rikers Island. With the support of our colleagues in the council, advocates, and New Yorkers across the city, we will continue to put the people of our city first. And we look forward to presenting our full legal arguments in this case for a preliminary injunction from the court in the weeks to come. Thank you very much.
Yes. Thank you, Speaker Adams. Next up, we're going to hear from Councilmember Alexa Aviles, who's the chair of the Immigration Committee.
Thank you. Buenos dias. So good morning, right? Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Alexa Aviles, chair of the Immigration Committee and council member representing District 38. Very proudly, might I add. Through this committee's work and through the work with colleagues and advocates and hundreds of New Yorkers, we have been the brave people here that have been fighting tirelessly to protect our immigrant New Yorkers under constant fire from the Trump administration's never-ending BS. I'm going to keep it clean. But my message is to Mayor Adams. The people of New York, Mayor, are not pawns for your self-righteous game. These people, New Yorkers, are people with lives, with families, who contribute in every way to our city's economy and culture. You're toying with the city's rich and long history of being a welcoming immigrant city is quite frankly disgusting. And I want you to know that I reject it, and I reject any move to destroy our rich legacy. And so today, while we know this mayor continues to upend our city agencies and quite frankly waste public resources that we should be actually focused on protecting New Yorkers, we are standing here having to defend the very rich practices that are longstanding in this city. ICE was ejected from Rikers because they violated civil and human rights of New Yorkers. New York City wasted millions of taxpayer dollars. We proved that it was the wrong thing to do, and our city had the courage to say, no más. No más. And ICE was ejected from Rikers. And as the speaker pointed out, and my colleagues here will point out, their being on Rikers is unnecessary. They have proved with their little gun spectacle that they can do cooperation. We have a criminal legal system that is there for them to utilize. So we reject again all the falsehoods that they put forward, all the fear that they put forward in our communities. And we affirm that the city council, that New Yorkers, our colleagues, these nonprofit organizations and advocates will stand up to protect your rights. We will stand up to protect this democracy. We will stand up to protect our public institutions. And we can't wait till November when this greedy capitalist shill gets voted out in November.
ICE out of Rikers! ICE out of Rikers! ICE out of Rikers!
Oh, you want me to do some Spanish?
Okay. Maybe 2 segunditos, por favor. Gracias. Iba a hablar contigo más allá, pero... Bueno, yo soy Alexa Viles, soy la concejal del Distrito 38 y presidente de la Comité de Inmigración en el concejal, y estamos aquí porque la juez hoy afirmó parar esta administración, poner ICE en la isla de Rikers Island, que ellos no están supuestos a estar ahí. Nosotros, el concejal, lo echamos a ICE de Rikers Island muchos años atrás porque estaban abusando los derechos civiles, los derechos humanitarios de las personas que estaban ahí. También vimos que tener ICE en Rikers Island en esos tiempos era no solamente un abuso, pero un gasto de los dineros de los neoyorquinos. So aquí estamos diciendo hoy otra vez que hemos visto con el espectáculo que ha hecho Trump, Homan y también Eric Adams, que ellos no necesitan poner ICE en Rikers Island, que ellos pueden cooperar en maneras de criminalidad con la policía sin tener ICE en Rikers Island. Esto es totalmente un espectáculo, un abuso. Pero aquí estamos para decirle a todos los neoyorquinos, los inmigrantes, que estamos aquí para protegerlos, para proteger sus derechos, para proteger la democracia, para proteger nuestras instituciones que son tan importantes. Porque New York va a seguir siendo una ciudad santuario que ya da la bienvenida a todos los inmigrantes. Y vamos a seguir las leyes, porque aquí somos una ciudad de leyes. Y que se vaya Trump con ICE y lo demás. Gracias.
ICE pa' afuera! ICE pa' afuera! ICE pa' afuera! ICE pa' afuera!
All right, before we bring up the next person, I think it's just really important to note that the council's taking these actions not based on theoretical things that are happening. People are actually being picked up off the sidewalk, disappeared from their loved ones, not being able to be found, taken to other states, and expeditiously put on a plane without any conviction and sent to another prison in another country. This is a serious action. This isn't speculation. This is something that is happening right now. So we are defending the rights of people from being picked up off the street and literally flown to another country with no process at all. So we just wanted to get that on the record. Next up, I want to bring up Murad Awadeh from the New York Immigration Coalition. Sorry.
When our communities are under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back!
I don't think the mayor can hear you. When our communities are under attack, what do?
Stand up, fight back!
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Murad Awadeh. I am the president and CEO of the New York Immigration Coalition. New York's immigrant communities are under incredible and unprecedented attacks from the federal administration. This is not hyperbole. This is literally happening right now. Instead of protecting our communities, we have a mayor rolling out an agenda to welcome and support the Trump deportation plan. By trying to open up ICE on Rikers, the mayor is creating a situation where New Yorkers' civil rights can be violated with impunity. The mayor's lawyers today said in court that there was imminent harm. And he kept saying there's imminent harm if this doesn't move forward. You know what imminent harm is happening right now, Mr. Mayor, in your own city? Ask Merville Gutierrez, a 19-year-old Bronx resident who was black bagged, snatched, and disappeared to El Salvador. It is a shame. And the mayor has yet to say his name. The mayor has yet to fight for his return, and he has done nothing wrong. His immigration case is still pending, and his family and his father are fighting for him to be returned here. So when we want to talk about imminent harm, that is the imminent harm we are seeing. The many Mervilles, the Mahmoud Khalils. This is happening on our streets, and the mayor wants it to happen in every corner of the city. We should be closing Rikers as stipulated by the law, not opening up new opportunities for attacks on immigrants and all New Yorkers here. Mayor Adams is making an end run around our city's sanctuary policies. These are public safety measures. Every single one of the sanctuary laws continuously protect and promote public safety. They tell New Yorkers, if you feel that you have been a victim of a crime, or if you witnessed a crime, step forward, go to the police and report it. With actions like this, the mayor is telling our communities we want you in the shadows, which then makes every single New Yorker who calls this city home less safe. The last time I checked, New York City's mayor was supposed to be serving the people of New York City, not Donald Trump, not the border czar Tom Homan, us. He was sworn in as mayor to serve all New Yorkers. He is attacking the ideals that make New York the greatest city in the world, like he likes to say often. Now is the time for New York's public officials to stand firm, enforcing our public safety policies and protecting due process and the rights of immigrants. I want to thank the New York City Council, which I think many people often forget is a co-equal branch of the mayoral administration, for exercising their leadership and their authority in this matter. Another thing the mayor's lawyer said was that they do not have a right, potentially, to have standing in this case. How laughable. How disrespectful. This institution has continuously delivered for New Yorkers. We need the mayor to do the same. And we need to continue to fight for all New Yorkers. Thank you to the City Council, the New York City Speaker, for taking legal action on behalf of our communities and to advance the safety of every single New Yorker. We need ICE out of Rikers, and we need ICE shut down, Rikers and ICE shut down for good. Thank you.
Two birds, one stone. All right, I want to, we did have Councilmember Gail Brewer join us. We're going to have her speak up in a little bit. Before I bring up the next guest, just want to recognize and give a shout out to the council lawyers. Working hard on behalf of the city of New York. Okay, next up we have Ezio Flores from Make the Road, New York.
Okay. Hello everybody, my name's Ezio Flores. I'm a civil rights and immigration organizer at Make the Road, New York. And in my community, Staten Island, our communities are scared. They're scared of ICE and what the federal government can do. They are scared that they are coming for us. We know that there are things that ICE can do that we cannot stop. We do Know Your Rights trainings at our organization, but we expect the city and our city to do everything it can do to block Trump's deportation agenda. These are laws that were established by the city council. They went through democratic process and are now under attack. When Mayor Adams is trying to attack laws that we helped pass and that protects immigrants, these families now have to stand up to protect these laws. Our communities know that right now, Mayor Adams is an agent for President Trump, especially on immigration. We know that the criminal investigations on Rikers Island is just a pretense to deport our communities and our loved ones. We cannot trust him and that he will faithfully execute the law. This is why we are grateful for the Speaker and the City Council for their defense of our laws. This lawsuit is so important. We kicked out ICE of Rikers long ago, and that didn't make us any less safe. Now we have to do it again. But we won't stop fighting there. On Staten Island, our immigrant communities are facing immense pressure. Our community members have lived there for 10, 20, 30 years, and it is home for them. We are here to stay. And thank you. Sí se puede.
¡Sí se puede! ¡Los tenemos!
Okay. Ahora un poquito en español. Okay. Hola a todos, mi nombre es Ezio Flores, soy el organizador de Derechos Civiles e Inmigración en Make the Road, Nueva York. Estamos aquí porque nuestras comunidades están debajo miedo. Ellos saben que inmigración está en nuestras comunidades y saben que hay muchas cosas que inmigración puede hacer y que no podemos hacer, poder pararlos. En nuestras comunidades, muchos de ellos han tomado clases de conocer tus derechos. En Nueva York, nosotros esperamos que la ciudad haga más para poder defender contra la agenda de deportación de Trump. Nosotros pasamos leyes por el City Council que fueron a través de un procedimiento democrático y ahora están debajo de ataque. El alcalde Adams está aquí para atacar estas leyes que nosotros hemos tratado bastante para proteger a nuestras comunidades inmigrantes. Nuestras familias y nuestras comunidades tienen que pararse y defender a estas leyes. Nuestras comunidades ahorita saben que el alcalde Adams es un agente del presidente, especialmente contra inmigración. Sabemos que en Rikers Island las investigaciones criminales están siendo usadas para poder empezar investigaciones contra nuestras comunidades. Y eso va a causar que cause muchos problemas para nuestras comunidades y a nuestros seres queridos. No podemos confiar que el alcalde va a ejercer estas leyes de una manera justa. Por eso es que estamos muy agradecidos por el Speaker y el City Council que está parándose y defendiendo estas leyes. Este lawsuit es importante porque estamos aquí para sacar a ICE de Rikers Island una vez más. Esto agarra y va a poder proteger otra vez a nuestros seres queridos para que no puedan usarse contra ellos. La lucha para nuestros derechos es importante porque nuestras comunidades están aquí y necesitan sentirse protegidos. Nuestras comunidades han vivido aquí 10, 20 y 30 años en este lugar que llaman, en esta ciudad que llaman un hogar. Y estamos aquí para quedarnos. Muchas gracias. Y si se puede.
How we doing? How we doing? We're almost there. We're almost there. Okay, Melanie Dominguez from Catal Center. I feel like you could give us some chants also. Maybe bring some energy since you're already here.
All right, y'all. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Melanie Dominguez. I am the organizing director at Catal Center for Equity, Health, and Justice. I'm also joined by our member, Crystal, here. And basically, one thing that I want to make sure that we don't forget is that since Mayor Eric Adams took office, the conditions at Rikers Island have only gotten worse. Under his watch, at least 38 people have died in New York City jails. Rikers Island is deadly. And as a result of his jail-first approach to public safety, the jail population has skyrocketed to now nearly to 7,500 people that are being detained in New York City jails. This is unacceptable. These are folks that are being exposed to horrific conditions, life-threatening conditions. And to us, it's become really clear that the mayor has abandoned the city's plan to shut down Rikers by 2027 and is doing everything in his power to keep Rikers open. And enough is enough. Instead of cozying up to Trump and attempting to carry out his mass deportation agenda here in New York City and taking us further away from closing down Rikers, the mayor of New York City should be working to defend all New Yorkers, including immigrants, and shutting down Rikers once and for all. And I also want to thank the council, the city council, and the speaker for holding the line. But I also want to make sure that they continue to hold this mayor accountable and protecting New Yorkers, but holding this mayor accountable and shutting down Rikers once and for all. And with that, I do want to close off with a chant. So we want to say, shut down Rikers! 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 Shut down Rikers!
Okay, next up we have Conrad Blackburn from Bronx Defenders.
Hey everyone. Hey. My name is Conrad Blackburn, and I'm policy counsel and staff attorney in the criminal defense practice at the Bronx Defenders. I am here as a criminal defense lawyer to tell you that allowing ICE onto Rikers is a threat to the rights of all New Yorkers, especially many of our clients who are on Rikers Island fighting their cases right now. Why? Because ICE relies on and uses the same tools and powers of a criminal punishment system that unfairly harms people who are charged with crimes, regardless of whether they're citizens or not. The unfortunate truth about our system is that it disproportionately targets communities of color. Here's some numbers for you. According to NYPD's own reports, in 2023, New York Police Department conducted 16,971 stops. 59% of the people stopped were black. 30% were Latino. Only 6% were white. According to John Jay's data for collaborative justice, by the age of 38, 27% of black men in New York City and 16% of Latino men in New York City will go to jail. Disgusting. That's as opposed to 3% of white men. Those numbers are sharp. And ICE colluding with New York's law enforcement and roaming free on Rikers is only going to sharpen the blade of that system that is held at the neck of black and brown New Yorkers daily. We know how dangerous that collusion is. Right now, without pointing to anything other than tattoos and Chicago Bulls clothing, the Trump administration is designating people as gang members and then snatching them off the street and taking them to a country that they may not even know. Shame. Shame. What's equally as shameful is that the NYPD has created a list of 5,000 New Yorkers that they claim are in a gang and sending it to ICE. That database is based on pure speculations, like using certain emojis or friend requesting certain people on social media or living in a certain public housing project. Some of these people haven't even been charged with any crimes. This collusion is dangerous because ICE has shown us that they will disappear people and deport people to another country without any due process whatsoever, despite judges telling them not to. And they've even done this to New York's college students simply for protesting. Shame. Bringing back ICE onto Rikers to do the work of a president who does not care about the legality of his actions or the lives of immigrant or incarcerated New Yorkers puts an enormous strain on our system and is a threat to all of our clients. Now, what happens in criminal cases when ICE disappears someone? Their cases are unfairly delayed. People are told to come back to court time and time again. And yes, it angers me as much as that man back there yelling. Right? Now, it affects other cases too, because court dockets are clogged, causing other defendants to have their cases delayed and possibly causing longer stays at Rikers. And it severely impacts our clients and their families. Why? Because one, our clients are going to be afraid to come to court, whether they're out or they're in, right? Because leaving your cell could amount to ICE snatching you and taking you somewhere else, right? People are not going to come to court for fear of bail being set on them and then being deported, right? People's families are not going to come to Rikers and visit them because they're going to fear being picked up by ICE, who's just walking around freely on Rikers Island, right? And we all know what happens to human beings who are incarcerated and cannot speak to their family members. It deteriorates them. And what's to stop DOC from waiting at Rikers Island for a bus to come back from court and snatching people off the bus? There's nothing to stop them from doing that, right? And even without ICE being on the island, the conditions of Rikers are already terrible, as we heard another speaker say. 38 people have died, 38 people in DLC custody since Mayor Adams took office. 38 people, shame. Shut it down. We have clients that report to us being locked in cells 24 hours a day, 7 days a week without food or medicine or showers. And it's not just our clients saying it. A whistleblower on Rikers Island, who was a social worker, said the exact same thing. Yet, Mayor Adams wants to bring ICE to Rikers to do even more harm. Mayor Adams, who cut backroom deals with Trump to drop his corruption charges, will help the federal government commit all of these unconscionable harms to your own community members. Y'all, the president does not care about the law. The mayor does not care about the law. DOC does not care about the law. ICE does not care about the law. We cannot let ICE onto Rikers Island. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, we got two more. We're going to hear from two council members. I'm going to bring up the council member that represents where Rikers is, and that's Tiffany Caban.
Thank you. We're going from one criminal defense attorney to the next. I just want to thank everybody for being here to support the council's efforts to get ICE out of Rikers. Eric Adams' decision to return ICE to Rikers Island to torture some of the most vulnerable New Yorkers is disgusting. Trump and Adams are building a pipeline directly from New York City prison camps, from New York City to prison camps in El Salvador with no due process, with no justice. And before I was a council member, I was a public defender for years, defending the right to due process for every single New Yorker. And now I'm proud to be part of the city council as we take this matter to the courts to stop this violation of our sanctuary city policies and our democratic values. Because ICE being on Rikers puts us all in danger. It cannot be said enough. It puts our democracy in danger, and it makes our city more unsafe. When ICE was last on Rikers, it trapped people in an endless cycle of detention, danger, and fear. Now ICE is something far more devastating. It is a rogue agency, a modern-day Gestapo, emboldened by our fascist executive branch and disregarding the rule of law at every turn. Understand the threat. Here in New York, illegal acts are illegal acts, and our criminal legal system does not, or I should say should not, distinguish between immigrants and non-immigrants. Everyone is supposed to get due process. But ICE takes away due process. They're disappearing people to foreign prison camps. They're locking up third graders. They're breaking windows and dragging people out of their cars. They're terrorizing our communities, and they're making us all less safe. ICE on Rikers is based on a lie. It's the lie that there are good immigrants and bad immigrants, and that we can tell the difference without due process. Every public defender will tell you that's a lie. That's why due process exists in the first place. Eric Adams wants to unleash ICE and Trump's disgusting mass deportation agenda in my district upon a part of our community that is already vulnerable, being denied sufficient legal representation and resources, locked up in a jail known for human rights violations, and are supposed to be innocent until proven guilty. And add into the mix that Mayor Adams is compromised. He's Trump's puppet. We cannot allow him to sell out New Yorkers in order to continue to save and benefit himself. That's right. So let us be very clear. Immigrants are good for America. Immigrants make America great. Immigrants make New York great. Immigrant New Yorkers enrich our culture and strengthen our economy. And sanctuary cities are safer than non-sanctuary cities. Let me say that again. Sanctuary cities are safer than non-sanctuary cities. These are facts. Major cities, there is less crime per capita in sanctuary cities. Those are facts. And fear and bigotry do not make anyone safe. New York City remains a sanctuary city. We're not going to let ICE and Trump strip away our proud history of affording all New Yorkers the due process that they deserve. And this council will not obey fascist orders. We are fighting back because we keep us safe. So thank you.
Okay, last but certainly not least, Councilmember Gail Brewer.
Thank you very much. Gail Brewer, I represent the Upper West Side. I want to say three things. First of all, thank you to the Speaker and the City Council for making it clear as to where we stand to support the immigrants in the City of New York. Second, it's really important, I agree 100%, to keep ICE off of Rikers Island because have you ever tried to get data from the Department of Correction? You cannot get data from the Department of Correction. So how in the world are you going to get data from ICE? And in fact, it is almost impossible to know what goes on Rikers Island. So to have ICE there, whatever we would be told would absolutely be a lie. So it is no way to proceed to have ICE on Rikers Island. Number 3, Rikers, forget Rikers in terms of the future. It should be closed. When I was borough president, I suggested ULIP close Rikers. Let me tell you another reason. These immigrants are phenomenal. What's interesting about the mayor is that if he would talk to his own staff, for instance, at Workforce One, those are the places where you get a job. I happen to work with these immigrants all day long. They go to Workforce One. They get jobs because home health aid, restaurants, people who are actually jobs in bathrooms in parks as attendants. Every single aspect of our economy is desperate for these immigrants who work hard, who've learned English, who have working papers, Social Security. They are our future workers. And guess what? Talk to your own people and you will learn that. Number 2, the Department of Education wouldn't even survive right now, funding-wise, without the immigrant students. They came in after the pandemic when student numbers were way down and drove them up, got dual language going, got the quality of the education improved. If you go to any school, who's the valedictorian? An immigrant. 90% of the time. I go to all graduations, I know. I will say, Mr. Mayor, talk to the own teachers and the Department of Education, and they will tell you they want to keep these families and these individuals in the city of New York. You don't do that by scaring the hell out of people. They don't want to go to the hospital. They don't want to go to court. They don't want to go to school. They don't want to go to CUNY. That chases people away. We pay for them, and then they go to Minnesota, Texas, God knows where. Keep them here. You don't bring in ICE and keep people here. That chases people away. I don't understand your philosophy. I do not get it. So on the immigrant issue, we are total opposite. We should be embracing them. Thank you. Work, get educated, and make our city great. Thank you very much.
That was like 4 points, 5 points. It's all good. All right, y'all. So we're going to keep fighting, right? Yeah. Because when we fight, we win. When we fight, we win. When we fight, we win. All right. And if there's any questions, I'm going to kick it over to Randy, who's going to facilitate that point. But if not, thank you all for coming. Thank you for being here on a Friday. Thank you, Speaker Adams, for pushing our council to fight this. And thank you to everyone who